What's up, Football Daily? Today we're counting down 10 players who've been wasted on the bench this season. Let's go. 10. Hakim Ziyech. Having spent around £260 million on attackers over the last 2 summers, it was always likely someone was going to miss out in the Chelsea attack, and so far this season, Hakim Ziyech has been that man, making just 1 Premier League start since the beginning of September and playing fewer minutes than 18 other teammates. Considering that Callum Hudson-Odoi has only made 3 appearances and Christian Pulisic has hardly featured at all due to injury, this is pretty damning for his long-term prospects at Stamford Bridge. Picked out by us as early as last season as the most dispensable of Chelsea's forwards, Ziyech's time in West London has not gone as many hoped. One of Europe's most highly regarded creators at Ajax, he's registered just 4 assists in 39 League and Champions League appearances for the Blues. And while he averaged around 4 key passes per game in Amsterdam, he's now managing around half that. 29 next year, Ziyech should be enjoying his peak years playing regularly for a top club, but with a contract running until 2025, it may be difficult for him to change course now. 9. Matheus Cunha. One of the Bundesliga's breakout stars following his move from RB Leipzig to Hertha Berlin in January 2020, Matheus Cunha's excellent performances in the German capital earned him a €26 million switch to Atletico Madrid this summer. Expected to provide extra firepower at the Wanda Metropolitano, with Diego Simeone's side looking to retain their La Liga title, something the club hasn't achieved since 1951, Cunha's versatility means that as well as playing backup for the ageing Luis Suarez, he should also be able to get minutes on the left, right and behind the striker. However, Angel Correa and Yannick Carrasco have the flanks well covered, while the late arrival of Antoine Griezmann has made opportunities even harder to come by down the middle. Still yet to register a start at the time of writing, Cunha has still played fewer minutes in the league than Saúl Ñíguez for Atletico Madrid this term, despite the fact he now plays for Chelsea. He's still just 22 and Cunha has a lot of time to prove himself in Spain, but this could be a long old season for him. 8. Riqui Puig. We've spoken about this guy to death over the last 18 months, but there's no getting away from it. Riqui Puig needs to be playing more football. The 22-year-old is now in his 3rd full season in the senior setup, but never looked close to gaining the trust of Ronald Koeman. So we'll no doubt be hoping that his sacking will offer him a lifeline at the Camp Nou. He's yet to make a start this term, racking up just 73 minutes of league action from 4 substitute appearances, with only 18-year-old left-back Alejandro Balde and injury-ridden Sergio Aguero featuring less. Meanwhile, younger academy graduates like Nico Gonzalez and Gavi have instantly moved ahead of him in the midfield pecking order, and so not even an injury to Pedri has helped his cause. Tipped for a loan move last year, Puig's insistence on staying and fighting for his place hasn't gone to plan so far, but with Xavi now in charge, the youngster has an even bigger club legend to impress. 7. Luka Jović. Like Puig, we're beginning to sound like a broken record when it comes to Luka Jović. But there's only so long the Serbian striker can wait his turn at Real Madrid, and judging by Karim Benzema's continued world-class form, he's going to have to wait a while longer if he sticks around at the Bernabeu. His breakout campaign at Eintracht Frankfurt seems a very distant memory now, and since signing for Madrid off the back of it in 2019, he's been afforded a measly 6 starts in La Liga. He never earned the trust of Zidane and is clearly yet to convince Ancelotti, who's given him 5 sub-appearances so far this term, amounting to just 60 minutes of action. With Benzema and Vinicius both untouchable, even a fully fit Eden Hazard has struggled to make the team of late. Jovic's prospects then are looking pretty bleak. With clubs like Arsenal and Fiorentina linked with the 23-year-old of late, surely now is the time for the former Benfica man to cut his losses. 6. Patson Daka. With Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho to contend with, entry into the Leicester first team was never going to be straightforward for Patson Daka following his £27 million move from Red Bull Salzburg this summer. However, considering he was one of the most highly anticipated new arrivals in the Premier League, we were hoping to see a little bit more of him. And as he's recently proved against Spartak Moscow in the Europa League, he has everything needed to succeed at the King Power. His 4-goal spree included his 2nd sub-10-minute hat-trick of 2021, and he now holds the record for the fastest hat-trick in the Austrian Bundesliga and the Europa League. But in the Prem, he's yet to get a proper chance. Very much a goal scorer rather than a creator, he's in a direct battle for Jamie Vardy, so he's probably going to have to wait, and he's yet to even get 1 start at the time of writing. But he'll no doubt get his opportunity to shine. Very much seen as the natural heir to Jamie Vardy, Daka has displayed similar qualities to the Englishman in his limited game time, and should be a dream for the likes of Maddison and Tielemans to provide for once he gets a more consistent run out. 5. Luca Pellegrini. With Juventus falling off the pace in Serie A this season despite possessing arguably the strongest squad in the division, attention will always turn to the players who aren't being used. And while Aaron Ramsey may be the obvious choice in this regard, having played just 38 minutes of football since the opening day of the season, Max Allegri's resistance to play Luca Pellegrini is arguably more of a shame. Juve's left side is significantly weaker than its right, with Adrien Rabiot playing on the left of a four-man midfield, so it may have been a good opportunity to give Pellegrini, signed for over €20 million from Roma 2 years ago, some consistent game time. The 22-year-old hasn't had much luck over the last year, with a loan move to Genoa ruined by injury following an impressive 18-month spell at Cagliari. And now he's finding it almost impossible to break into the Juve team, with his only appearance coming in a 2-1 loss to Napoli back in September, while he didn't even make Allegri's squad for the Champions League. Having reportedly rejected a loan move to West Ham in the summer, Pellegrini is probably now regretting that decision. 4. Konrad Laimer. It hasn't been the easiest start to life for Jesse Marsch at RB Leipzig. Despite some big wins over the likes of Stuttgart and Hertha Berlin, his side have already fallen away in the title race and lost all 3 of their opening Champions League games. Their defence, depleted by the sale of Dayot Upamecano in particular, has looked shaky at points. With goalkeeper Peter Gulaschi's heroics keeping their goal difference in check, they currently rank 12th in the Bundesliga for expected goals against. It's surprising then that Konrad Laimer hasn't been utilised more. The Austrian international, who has featured heavily for his country during the international breaks, was one of Leipzig's most trusted destroyers during Julian Nagelsmann's first season at the helm, making 5.3 tackles and interceptions per 90, second only to Nordi Mukiele in the squad. But having sat out most of last season with an injury, he's yet to get consistent game time this term, making just 1 league start and clocking up 36 minutes since the side's 4-1 defeat to Bayern Munich at the start of September. Linked with the German champions, Laimer has less than 2 years left to run his current contract. If he continues to miss out on the starting 11, we wouldn't be surprised to see the 24-year-old push heavily for a move next summer. 3. Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling has played a lot more football this season than many others on this list, with almost 600 minutes under his belt. However, when you consider how important he's been to Man City in seasons past, it's still a lot less than you'd reasonably expect, especially given his goal-scoring exploits and the fact Pep Guardiola hasn't played with a conventional centre-forward this term. His numbers did drop last season. He scored 10 in the league, down from 20 in the previous campaign and 17 the one before that. However, the early signs this season are good. He's taken almost 3 shots in the box per 90, the same as in 1920, while his expected goals per 90 is also at its highest since that time. But with £100 million Jack Grealish taking his place on the left and Pep so far opting for Gabriel Jesus on the right, opportunities haven't come easy, and he's been afforded just 3 starts in the league so far. Sterling has since suggested he may be interested in a new challenge abroad, although only cash-strapped Barcelona seem to be the club linked with him. Guardiola may be helped by the fact there are almost no elite clubs after a player of Sterling's profile right now, but it doesn't change the fact that he has one of Europe's best getting itchy feet on the bench. And with Foden and Mahrez also competing for similar positions, this may just be how it is for Sterling from now on. 2 and 1, Edinson Cavani and Donny van de Beek. There are more than a number of problems at Manchester United right now, but a depleted squad is not one of them. The Red Devils have top quality and decent backup in each position aside from defensive midfield, a group of players who, on paper at least, should be challenging for titles. Nailed on as United's starting centre-forward before Cristiano Ronaldo's return at the end of August, Edinson Cavani hardly featured until United's latest victory over Tottenham. Fitness issues and quarantine measures have played their part, but even when he's been available, he's almost exclusively been used as an impact sub. Considering he was scoring a goal every 108 minutes last term, to be played so sparingly while the attack is faltering is certainly a waste. But with the change to 3-5-2, we at least expect him to be relied upon in the coming months. And then there's Donny van de Beek, who's hardly been used at all since signing from Ajax in 2020. He made just 4 starts in the Premier League last term, clocking up fewer than 1,500 minutes across 5 competitions. At the time of writing, he hasn't been given any game time whatsoever in over a month. For a player who was once nominated for the Ballon d'Or, this simply isn't good enough. if there isn't a place for him in the side where the most glaring issues are in midfield, it's no wonder there's talk of him pushing for a move in January. And who would blame him? So that was our list of 10 players wasted on the bench this season. Have we missed anyone? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later.